the top of my head.
Yeah. But we also had budgeted fundraising.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, welcome everyone. Joyce is going to lead us in the pledge today.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Joyce. Scott Ellerbach, relocation.
Bow our heads. We come today to bow our heads and open this meeting in prayer. We ask that you would bless our speakers and that you would bless our time together today. May we grasp those things that you want us to understand. May our hearts always be ready to respond to you and your wisdom. We pray this in your name. Amen.
Thank you, Scott. Around the room here, I don't see any guests. I see a few new members. Red Badgers, welcome. Good to see some new members. A lot of guests. All right. So club announcements and updates. I don't see Steve Geis here, but he is working on getting students recruited for RILA. The word is out with the schools, and so we're just looking for to see how many of the kids sign up. We gave him a number, roughly 13, 14 kids. Some years that's completely full, other years it's not. We'll see how this year is with COVID and everything, so hopefully we'll get a good turnout for that. We also will have a membership campaign that we're going to do through email and Facebook. Angie Herding has been working on that. I'm not sure the exact date that's going to start, but very soon here we're going to try to recruit more members through non-traditional mechanisms. So as always, new members typically come from current members and family members and so forth, so keep your feelers out for potential new members for the club. We set the date, last week we talked about it, set the date for the Red Cross blood drive. That's going to be June 9th. That'll be noon to 5. We thought that time frame made sense. People could come at lunch maybe, or at the end of the day if you're working, and those that aren't working can fit it in the afternoon. So we'll have a sign-up sheet we'll get pulled together so people can volunteer to cover. Steve Geis is coordinating that with the Red Cross for us as well. He's on the board there. So he said we'll probably need 6 people or so to sign up for the afternoon, and if we want shorter shifts then we can have more slots available. So if you put that date on your calendars for June 9th, Wednesday, noon to 5. Other than that, we don't have any other club activities coming up. I did receive an email. I don't know if this went to everybody or not, but it's called Spring Environment Talks. There's going to be 2 webinars. The first one is April 9th at noon. The second one, April 30th at noon. The first one is what your club can do for the environment, ideas for long and short-term projects. The second one is the big picture of trails in Iowa and how Rotary can help. So if you didn't get that and you want to participate in that Zoom meeting, I can send this around to everybody. And if you did get that, let me know, because I don't always know what district blasts go out to everybody. Some go out to everybody and some don't, so I never quite know for sure. So then officer elections at HR.
Great time.
Where are you going to go?
I'm going to go.
Okay, good.
It's going to be formal today.
Well, I put pants on today, so I have to be formal. You laugh.
Not really.
Pants sales dropped dramatically during COVID. Trust me. Mine did. Not my pants. They didn't drop, but never mind. Right. Okay, so. Yeah, for those of you who haven't been to a meeting in a while, you wasted your time today. No, it's election time, and as incoming president, I guess I'm in charge of elections. And so I have ballots in my hand. They're actually not ballots, they're nomination forms. So we have several positions that are up this year. Several of those directors have agreed to stay on. They would like to stay on. Others don't know they want to stay on yet until I tell them. And then we have the oh-so important position of vice president, which then becomes president in 3 years? 3 years, 4 years, 3 years? 3 years.
In the third year.
Third year, yeah, right. So that is open for discussion and or interpretation. So we have Chuck Weber is up this year. Kim is up, and she just nodded her head, so she would like to stay on. Tony, who is not here today, so it's a good time to renominate him. Oh, well, he's muted, so. So Tony, Angie, and then of course the vice president's open. Now, they will, there's some that will agree to stay on, which is great. You can nominate someone else because we're bound to have another position that's going to open up. And of course the vice president position. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand these, I'm going to put them on the tables. You just fold them up, put them in the yellow cup in the middle, and I'll grab them there at the end. And I will send out another email today or tomorrow and get more nominations. Then we'll have an official vote in 2 weeks. 2 weeks, yeah, because you're gone next week. Yeah. So official vote in 2 weeks. So again, put your ego aside and you can nominate yourself. So that's all I have. So I'll be out distributing these and you can take over again.
Thanks, HR. Yeah, I should mention, so Chuck Weber was the Rotary Foundation liaison, so that's his role, and Kim is treasurer. So if those roles appeal to you, the others are director roles. We have, I think, 3 different terms for directors. They're 3-year terms. They roll off. Of course, naturally, they're staggered out. And we do ask for another director nomination, even though we don't have 3 that are off this year, but it's inevitable somewhere along the line that somebody is unable to continue, or perhaps somebody that's a current director is nominated for the vice president role and they move into that role. So just keep that in mind, the future of the club with good directors and executives. All right, happy dollars. Community announcements. John?
April 18th through the 25th is the Julian Dubuque International Film Festival. We are doing it live with people. Folks are coming in from other countries. They're here for the week. The reason we're doing an entire week rather than a weekend is that the films that didn't get to show last year in 2020 are going to be shown this year, as well as the new ones for 2021. So it's a full slate of films going on. We're also looking for some housing for film folks. So if you're interested in having somebody for part of a week or a week, let me know, because we do have, as I said, we do have some coming in from other countries with their films. So also looks like we're going to have, if the city approves it, there's a film about Normandy, and they're bringing a few tents, and they're going to have a little bit of an encampment, hopefully in Washington Park. I'm filling out that application actually before I came here. So anyway, 18 to 25 in April.
Very cool. Thanks, John.
I have a happy dollar. I played golf yesterday in the wind with my dearest friend, Sudhir Canary. A couple of times the wind actually blew him off the green. But it was fun anyway, And I think it was HR that said, he was coming on to the first tee as we were leaving. And I said, about half the holes are, you'll hit at 300 yards. And the other half, you'll probably not hit it very far. And sure enough, how'd you do, HR? I'm going to have you tell the joke.
I got my first birdie and my first par after the 300-yard drives. And then I got my, 5th or 6th double bogey. It was 300 or 100. You had a choice between drives.
So, it was worth the effort, and it's great to be back out on the golf course, I'll tell you.
That's when you hope you're talented. You can decide whether to hit a low ball or a high ball, right?
Yeah,
I wouldn't be here if I were talented.
Well, wins like that may actually make me hit the fairway, so,
All right,
you know.
I have a happy dollar
Scott,
over here.
yes.
Hang on.
So Happy Dollar and shameless plug all at the same time. So tomorrow is Day of Giving for Jersey Mike's, and they've been supporting Junior Achievement of the Heartland for the this is our 4th year in our partnership. They've raised over $150,000 in the last 3 years. And the month of giving took place during all of March. Tomorrow, Day of Giving, 100% of all of their sales will be donated back to JA in support of the programs and the kids that we serve every year. So encourage you to get out tomorrow, grab some Jersey Mike's and support Junior Achievement. So $5.
All right, thanks, Scott.
And those dollars that they do here stay here. Correct. Yeah, they don't go anywhere else. They stay in Dubuque.
Excellent. Thanks, Scott. Others?
Well, I had a dilemma today on whether or not I would attend Rotary, and it's too much information, but I had my eyes tattooed yesterday, and I can't wear makeup. So that's a big confession for a Southern woman. So anyway, however, the desire to see our presenter today overrode this deep appearing in public when I'm just not properly, coiffed and attired and made up and so forth. So,
Is it fair to ask what eye tattooing is?
eye tattooing is women wear eyeliner, but and other people as well wear eyeliner. And if you've been putting it on since you were 15 and you're now 71, it's like enough. I want the time I have not spent in front of my mirror. So yeah, there's a line here and a line here, and it's actually tattooed by a tattoo artist. So,
Wow.
and they're red and they're sore. So anyway, back to the point. Scott Thomas is here today, and when I first came to Dubuque, that was 2006, and this hunk of a man walked in my office at Five Flags, and I thought, my God, Fabio lives in Dubuque. And so I have enjoyed seeing him and knowing him and working with him, and you are the reason that outweighed my vanity.
Well, thank you.
Well, I wasn't gonna throw it in today, but I gotta admit that now I've known 2 tattoo incidences, but with Joyce and the Arkansas basketball team got tattooed last night.
Southern women, we don't get mad, we just leave.
Well, there probably isn't a single complete bracket yet, right? Everybody's busting.
We lost last night.
I got a shot. I got a close up. Also, I think she got a bonus tattoo, but she won't tell me where it is.
Let's just say it's a new definition of razorback.
That was pretty good.
Oh, boy. All right, anybody
We got
else?
a team of comedy writers anytime you want it.
Anybody else? Happy dollars. Oh, all right, Scott Ellerbach again for raffle.
We've been kind of short on prizes. I think we're giving the bell away this week.
All right, so we have $27 raised today. We got a book by Amy Gilligan. I've got 4 Teenagers You Can't Scare Me. We get a silver $50, and then we got tickets to a comedy show.
Mark Poulos.
Mark Poulos on Saturday, April 17th. So those are our items today.
Promoted by our guest.
Had to draw a couple names.
All right. Paul Full.
Hey,
Oh, they want today, Paul.
I'll do the half dollar. You guys are gonna think super sound. Super sound.
Yep.
Probably gonna think this one's rigged, but I pulled out Joyce White.
Tickets to the book. Tickets.
Nearly on some crazy.
I guess that's what I meant.
Scott.
You said a 2-week dry spell.
yeah. We couldn't quite remember that Scott was here last week because he didn't win the raffle.
Yeah, right?
All right, thanks for Thanks, Scott, for coordinating that.
Good job.
All right, so we'll turn it over to our speaker, to HR. Introduce Scott.
I asked for a bio, and I didn't get one. So, half of this is going to be made up. No, I'm just kidding. When I arrived 5 years ago, Joyce is correct. Actually, Scott did not have the hair when I met him. He was all trimmed up, and they said, "Oh, you should have seen me back in the '80s." Did look like Fabio. I bought that. I think I have that book still. Anyway, we have the last year has been just absolutely devastating for a lot of industries, but especially the entertainment industry, the casino industry, anything that involves people gathering in mass. So, in getting through this from a larger corporation, from ASM Global standpoint, was a lot easier than a lot of the independent promoters out there, which we have today. We had other buildings we can collaborate on and talk to and do things with. Dubuque was very fortunate that we were able to, the state opened up a little bit sooner than the other states as far as gathering, even though it was still limited. And we saw an opportunity, or at least I thought I saw an opportunity. I was like, well, maybe people will come out, maybe they won't. And it's independent promoters like Scott that are willing to take that chance, because Live Nation hasn't done, they're not going to do any shows for a while yet. Outback Concerts, all the big names, they're dead in the water. And if it weren't for the regional and independent promoters right now, there wouldn't be any shows going on in the U.S. So I have the privilege of introducing a gentleman that I met, like I said, 5 years ago. He has been named Entertainment Buyer of the Year, or Casino Entertainment Buyer of the Year. You might know him also as Scott Riddell, but known on the radio station over at Town Square Media as Scott Thomas, and has promoted shows since the 80s, starting with some teen dances until he got caught, and now he can't, 500 feet. So, but has just done it's not just Dubuque, it's all across the United States. I think he booked for 6 or 8 or 12 casinos now. He's not a minor player in the industry. And when we travel to Nashville together or wherever, when we go to talk to promoters, he's gone and he's booking and he's booking and cooking, as we call it. So with that, we thought it'd be interesting to have him come with us today to talk about what this past year has been like, what promoting's like right now compared to how it used to be, and what he sees in the future. You didn't know about that one, did you? With that, Scott Thomas.
First off, I want to say thanks for the invite this afternoon. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Scott Thomas, 25 plus years on radio here in Dubuque. Also stints in Fort Wayne, Indiana for a long time, Saginaw, Michigan, Flint, Michigan, and also up in Decorah, where I got my start after radio and television broadcast school. Currently, though, at Town Square Media, as HR mentioned, that's a group of radio here in town. That's WJOD, WDBQ, AM and FM, along with Eagle 102.3. That's where I reside at right now, at Eagle in the afternoons. And also Y105, which I fill in from time to time. So kind of with the times, even radio's kind of taking a hit. So we've done everything from sharing voices to sharing commercials. Just kind of, we let a lot of people off. So even in the radio industry, kind of got hit hard, but not as bad as overall, as HR mentioned, with the entertainment industry. But we are finally starting to see a little bit of a bounce back. And, kind of looking back to last year, the question I got all the time is, when will it return? Everybody kept saying, when are concerts coming back? When can we expect shows? And that's one of those questions we really couldn't answer for a long time. We just kept thinking, it's got to be next month. It's got to be the month after. I mean, it was, just over a year ago in March, we got the phone call saying, hey, we got to stop entertainment. We're going to flatten the curve for 2 weeks. That was like March 15th. So, all right, we'll shut down the office for a week. And then we'll be back at it on April 1st. It was an April Fool's joke on all of us, So to kind of fill you in on that, is my company's called Buzz Entertainment. We specialize in casino entertainment all over the country. We were voted the best casino buying company in America 2 years ago for the Global Trading Association of America in Las Vegas. And that continues every year. We have properties, casinos all over the country. Kind of fill you in on our start. I was doing radio for a long time here in Dubuque, and then Todd Moyer, who came when Diamond Joe got a license to be land-based and decided to build the new Diamond Joe and their new concert facility, Todd called me up asking, is there anybody that could do in town, that could do concerts for us? And he knew I've been doing stuff with Joyce at Five Flags. I was doing stuff at the Grand Theater. I booked the Dubuque County Fair and some other special events throughout the area, including a couple big fundraisers I'll get to in May and August that we do every year. And he said, hey, think about it for a little bit. We got 6 months before the Diamond Joe opens up a state-of-the-art theater called the Mississippi Moon Bar. 3 or 4 months passed. Todd calls me up and kind of said, hey, did you find anybody for us? We're getting closer. We want to start booking some entertainment. I said, no, I really haven't. And he kind of brought up the idea, he goes, would you be interested in kind of helping us out? And I'm like, well, if I can keep my radio job, which is a benefit to both, I can be on the radio and talk about our shows and kind of push the Diamond Joe a little bit. So Todd loved the idea. We worked out a deal and we started booking entertainment at the Diamond Joe. That continued for about 5 years, and then Jonathan Swain, who owned the Diamond Joe, ended up selling the Diamond Joe and his other 4 casinos. And then, so I stayed on with Boyd for a little while, yet still booking all their entertainment. Then Jonathan came to me saying, hey, I'm looking to open a casino in out in New York. Would you be interested? And me and my wife thought about it for a little bit, and we did a little research and found out they have an average of 94 inches of snow a year. So I'm like, well, if you build a casino down south, we'd be a little more interested in going south than we would be going north. And he's like, well, we're thinking about maybe a possibility of Louisiana. Tennessee doesn't have any casinos. That's the next place that's going to be a big place for casinos, will be Tennessee, because they continue to see all their tourism travel across the state to Mississippi, which is like Dubuque, just across the other side of the river. So eventually Tennessee will get some casinos, and we'll hopefully be a part of that. So I said, what if we came up with an idea where we do entertainment from Dubuque, and I can just travel to the different casinos that we put together? And he loved the idea, so I left Boyd and put together a partnership to book his casinos, and now we have casinos in Louisiana, Kansas. We just purchased the Hard Rock in Sioux City, properties in Minnesota. We do the entertainment for Ho Chunk, if you're familiar with Wisconsin Dells. We do all the entertainment for Ho Chunk and the Dells. Waterloo, New York. We have 5 properties in Virginia, including Richmond, which we'll hopefully have a new casino there. So we have properties all over the country that kind of helps our buying power for a little company, that we could, book one show here and kind of travel across the country with some other shows. So our buying possibilities have really increased because of that. So then, we decided we just can't make it on casinos, so we decided let's start, doing some investments ourselves. So we started doing some shows ourselves, besides the shows I've been doing for years and years on my own through radio and all that stuff. And I do 2 big festivals in town that are fundraisers you might be familiar with. This year will be our 22nd year, Memorial Day, or Labor Day, Memorial Day weekend will be our kickoff this summer. We raise money for Hospice of Dubuque. One of our big charities is the Children's Zoo. We do a lot of fundraising for the Children's Zoo on North Cascade Road. That's one of our big charities. So this will be our 22nd year of doing that. Normally we do it at Q Casino, but they have not pulled the trigger on outdoor stuff just yet. They're waiting for the city to okay permits. So we're going to do that this year at the Dubuque County Fairgrounds. So that'll be on Friday night, May 28th, and we end our summer Labor Day weekend with our event called Summer's Last Blast, and this will be our 21st year for that. We'll have 2 nights of music. That's also all fundraising based. We help out charities, including the Children's Zoo. We kind of tie in other charities that need help or come to us. One of our first charities that we did was when the Mississippi River Museum came to town. We were one of the first big donators to that, so we helped out and got a plaque on the wall down there. So we've been doing those type of city events for a long time, but now with Joyce opened up some opportunities for us that we didn't have before at Five Flags. HR is a great player in the city now. I was talking, right before the shutdown, I go, the last time you could have looked at the Five Flags website and seen 50 events. It was just crazy that how active Five Flags has gotten again over the years. After growing up in Dubuque, seeing, all the big players have played here. Everything from Van Halen setting the attendance record back in the day to AC/DC played here, and back in the day, Five Flags had all the entertainers. It was like the hot spot. And now with the entertainment dollar kind of stretched out and new venues in the area, kind of have to reinvent ourselves with the tax layer down in Moline opening up. The new event center just opened up in Coralville, which would be kind of a player in the game now too. So there's a lot of kind of finagling, I should say, of how we can get different dollars into the city for our shows. And then all of a sudden COVID hits, so then that kind of shut us down for a little bit. And then we decided, like I said, we just kept going on and on. Like, when can we start doing shows? Is it too early? Are we going to make people mad? So we did our summer's last blast in August and got a little bit of heat because it was in the county and there was no mask mandate yet, but we pulled off the fundraising event. And we got a little bit of heat because some people weren't wearing masks, but it wasn't mandatory just yet. So we got a little bit of heat, back in August. Then through the winter, we didn't really do anything. Then I went to HR and he said, let's try something. So we came up with the Verlo Winter Comedy Series. We got Verlo to kind of sponsor our event just to be safe, and we decided, let's do a show a month. We'll be socially distanced. That way everybody feels safe. Everybody has to wear a mask. We'll kick it off in December, do one a month up until spring, and see how it goes. And the way I really kind of look at it is how we progressed with this is me being on the radio. In December, we were giving away comedy tickets and dinner on the radio. So we take, hey, be caller number 5 right now, your chance to win comedy tickets and dinner in downtown Dubuque. So they call in and like, you know what, we want the dinner, but we don't want the comedy tickets. So everybody took the dinners, but nobody took the comedy tickets in December. We tried again in January. We give away tickets and dinner. A couple people took the tickets in January, but everybody else said, no, we're still not going out. We'll take the dinners. Did it again in February. It was about 50-50 in February, people taking the tickets and the dinner together. And then last month for March, when we had Donnie Baker, the 5 Legs, everybody took the tickets. So we went from December, everybody being, we're not doing anything, we don't want the tickets, we're not going out yet, to March, where everybody accepted the tickets. So we see a little bit of a rebound on that. So that's kind of a good sign as we head into the summer. I also book all the entertainment at Q Casino. We book all their outdoor shows at the Backwater Stage. Last year we had the only Rascal Flats reunion farewell show in Iowa. And we had tickets on sale in the first week. We do 5,500 people at Q outside their parking lot. In the first week we sold almost 5,000 tickets for the farewell tour. And that was going to be our highlight, the pinnacle of our summer, to get in the only date of summer in Iowa was Rascal Flats coming to Dubuque, and all the hotels were sold out. And then that happened, so we had to pull the plug on that. We had the Field of Dreams game that we were working with at the radio station, and me and HR were all set to do like a John Fogerty show because he's known for baseball to kick off that event. That got pulled from us, so a lot of highlighted stuff that we looked really forward to over the summer just kind of got pulled underneath us. So we, kind of battled through for a while. We did the PPP thing for my company and got a little help on that. Collected unemployment for a while. Me and my wife sell real estate. I do it on the side. I have my wife's assistance with the Real Home Team, but I mean that really helped with my wife selling real estate over the summer to keep us afloat. But concert-wise, there was nothing. Everybody kept looking to us. When's it going to happen? When's it going to happen? But we just couldn't come up with an answer. And finally, to go back to live, and I know HR's company came up with a great plan to make everybody safe between socially distancing, wearing a mask, the sanitation stations, with the hand sanitizer, all that stuff. The socially distance, we pulled it off with a lot of shows already. We just did a show in Des Moines last week, a show at 5 Flags with a band called Firehouse, and we had no problems at all. I know HR just had Lee Bryce 2 weeks ago. Over 2,000 people appeared to the show, so it looks like it's definitely starting to come back, but it's been a long road for the entertainment industry because a lot of these guys, I hate to say it, were cash guys. They're all, a lot of the players, playing guitar in bars and weekends, making their $200 a night, doing it as a living, but a lot of those guys weren't paying taxes. So it kind of came back to bite them a little bit, not being able to collect unemployment. So some of those guys really got hurt, and I've noticed numerous bands. I have a roster of probably 50 bands, and we lost maybe 15, 20 bands that they just kind of pulled the plug after a year saying we can't afford to go out anymore. That was our lifeline. We had to go out and get real jobs now. So it's gonna be interesting to see once we get back rolling again. But we definitely see a good start. Jones County Fair, which is one of the largest fairs in Iowa next to the Iowa State Fair, they announced they're 100% going this year. They have the Duo of the Year with Dan and Shay coming. They have the Zach Brown Band and Kane Brown, which is Kane's probably one of the hottest young artists in country music right now. Q Casino, we're all excited for our lineup. We're going to kick it off with one of the great blues artists of all time, Kenny Wayne Shepherd, in June. July 1st, we have Collective Soul. We have Brantley Gilbert, one of the country's hottest young country stars. He's coming this fall. Others, Brothers Osborne's will be there in August. They won the CMA award for Duo of the Year. Plus, we're once the city right now, they're not officially issuing permits for any event. So I mean, we're still waiting to get all that jazz back on track again for the the third Friday of every Friday in June, July, and August. We're trying to get that okayed. We have our Summer's Last Blast, which would be in the city, so that's not been okayed. That's why we have to move it out to the county because they don't have permits in the county. So they're able to kind of help us out a little bit. But tell you what, I really see a light at the end of the tunnel. I mean, HR just announced Clay Walker and Tracy Lawrence, two great classic country artists, and those sales took off great this week. The Dubuque County Fair, they said they are definitely going to have their, I mean, they did the fair last year, but no entertainment, but they're going to socially distance as of right now. That could change. They have Chris Lane and also Rock Night with Queensryche and Skid Row. Jones County Fair, or Jackson County Fair, we helped them out a lot with their shows. They have country singer Trace Atkins and Snake Oil coming in July. That's also the same week as the Dubuque County Fair, which is always the last week of July. So we just feel that, it's been a long year. But we have, light at the end of the tunnel. We're starting to see people invest in music again. We see people that are trying to, do some touring. I don't think we see large-scale touring until next year. We'll see some weekend warrior stuff where they go out on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, some small runs, because the problem is it's tough to be on the road right now when you have to skip over states. Normally, Dubuque's in a great routing place. I mean, we're only 10 hours from Nashville. That's the distance a truck and tour bus can go, is 10 hours by law. So they stop in Dubuque, then they go on to the next city, Minneapolis or Milwaukee, to Summerfest and some other great events like that. So we're in a good position to snag some great shows in the next few months and just continue to build. Me and HR got a bunch of stuff on the books right now. We're getting ready to announce some other stuff, and right now we're just ahead of the curve in Iowa. I mean, Illinois is totally still 100% shut down for shows until April 16th. They're supposed to make an announcement. Summerfest in Milwaukee, which is the largest music festival in the country, is usually the week of July 4th, but I know they're pulling the plug on that, moving to September for 2 weekends. So we had a few other shows that we're going to tie in with Summerfest, but we're going to lose those because they're not doing Summerfest now. But other than that, I think in the next few months, get out there, buy some tickets, and support the industry. Thank you.
See, that we're going to get some.
Yeah.
I would think that so many venues around are, that's competition, but it's also stops for some of these acts that want to hit Cedar Rapids or Iowa City and add Dubuque to the schedule.
Yeah, we see, we specialize in a lot of comedy. So we do a lot of comedy where we'll do Davenport on Thursday, Dubuque on Friday, Cedar Rapids on Saturday. So sometimes that location is great for these guys. Like, hey, we're only 90 minutes for each of our stops. So the proximity really helps us.
Questions? Anybody?
I have one.
Okay, go ahead. Here, grab a mic.
So HR has talked in the past about the proposals for the Five Flags Center and being a promoter and organizer. Your thoughts on the other groups that can come? HR's talked about it a little bit, but what's your take on it?
If we had a new facility, entertainment-wise, it would be night and day for Dubuque. One of the keys is corporate entertainment, and without corporate skyboxes and boxes, and naming rights, that doesn't happen. And obviously, with the facility we have now, there's no skyboxes, there's no party boxes. You can't rent them out. HR does a good job of trying to put special areas. We built a few things for people to do, little party areas and stuff. But naming rights and those skyboxes is just such a key with that new facility. And there's just such a big gap between 5,000 and 7,500 to 8,000 seats that you can get such. You can pull off an Elton John compared to pulling off Little River Band. Just that distance between those, and obviously we'd be excited. So.
Okay.
Nice plug, thank you.
Yeah.
Question. Okay. I'm coming. Here you go.
Just a clarification, you're New York City for a potential casino. You said Waterloo. Did you mean Watertown?
No, Waterloo, New York is our casino.
Where is that?
It's literally exactly between Rochester and Syracuse on the interstate. It's like 45 minutes to either city.
Snowbelt.
Yep.
They're known for casino.
Yeah, it's called Del Lago Resort and Casino. It has a 2,500 person theater. It's got 1,000 slot machines, 55 table games, sports betting. and then a hotel and spa.
And that's Boyd.
Yeah, no, that's P2E, which is Peninsula Entertainment.
I was under the impression that we were going to have, because I hang around him, we talk shop all the time. And I was under the impression that this was going to be one hell of a year if it wasn't for COVID.
We like I said, I mean, I can tell you that I've lived in Dubuque on and off all my life, and never has been a time I went to the Five Flags website and seen 50 events. And then, yeah, right, so not only, the Five Flags Center, the Grand has really kicked up their game. The University of Dubuque built that gorgeous facility. They've been doing a lot of shows at the University of Dubuque. Rich Hall, who used to run the Grand in Dubuque, has the Onward Fine Arts Center in Macokota. Rich does a great job down there with not just plays, but he brings in some great entertainment in that area. The colleges have now kind of jumped back into the game. Platteville does a kickoff concert at the University of Platteville to start their school year off, and they do a show at the end of the year. Loris has done a few shows lately, so yeah, there's going to be a lot of entertainment in 2020.
Now, from the entertainers' point of view, I think they kind of like these small, medium-sized venues, and they're usually entertainers that are, their hits were in the 70s and 80s, and now they're going around and getting close to their fans.
Yeah, well,
they tend to give wonderful shows.
Yeah, oh yeah, they get some great shows, and a lot of those 60s and 70s acts wouldn't be around right now without casinos. Because all the casinos are booking them, and they have a second life just doing the casino circuit. Everything from Tommy James and the Shondells, the Gary Puckett and the Union Gap, the Turtles, the Association. A lot of those groups probably would have called the quits, But now with casino entertainment, those are staple names.
That's my jam.
Yeah.
All right. Who else? Okay, I got one right back here. I know a bagpiper that could probably do a concert.
I've played at casinos, yeah. So before my question, hey, I provide staff support to the Board of Health in the county. So yeah, you provided some real excitement for us this August. So my question is, I kind of moved around a lot as a kid, but I ended up finishing growing up, if you could say that, upstate New York there, and I went to SPAC for everything, Saratoga Performing Arts Center.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And they got everything as it was headed into New York City. So it's about 3 hours or so away from New York, and I saw everybody there in that outdoor amphitheater like that. What kind of relationship does Chicago have for those things? Are there acts that are looking for that sort of smaller SPAC kind of feel on their way to Chicago? I mean, who does that kind of a thing?
We piggyback on Chicago, Milwaukee, Minneapolis all the time, because they just as soon play Dubuque on Thursday or going into Chicago on Friday, because otherwise they're still paying their staff. There's a lot of times we provide meals and hotels and all that stuff. If they're on the road, they'd be providing that for themselves. So Dubuque makes for a great stop, almost like a filling station where they come in and get filled up with their their gas, their rooms, do a great show, and people in a small town, people really appreciate the entertainment more than some of the big cities. I mean, if you lived in Vegas, you could see anybody you want. So Dubuque, we bring in a lot of like TV celebrities for kind of like Rob Snyder's coming, a few celebrity names, and people in a small town, they just think that's royalty to them, so they get treated well. They you're just a dime a dozen in Vegas, or Chicago, but coming here, they really enjoy it.
How do those other downstate metros in Illinois, are they that kind of competition for Chicago acts? Or?
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure they are, yeah. Because each band, when they play, there's a radius clause in the contract that depending on how much money you pay them, it gets bigger, but most of them are usually 100-mile radius that you can't play within 100 miles of that facility, so it makes it a little tougher if you're, the suburbs and 100 days, and HR deals with that all the time.
Yeah, 150 now.
Yeah.
Sometimes 200 miles. One of the things you touched upon regarding the smaller communities and what we found here in Dubuque, as opposed to the smaller towns in Illinois, is that people here buy tickets, and they say it's it's not about the money, it's all about the money. And if they can sell, they're going. It doesn't matter if it's Fairfield, Dubuque, or Des Moines. If you can sell more tickets in Dubuque, that's where they're going. And that's what we found here is just people understand entertainment. They understand the value of entertainment and the price you have to pay for good entertainment. And the fact, I've lived in places where it isn't it's not exactly what they wanted to hear, so they're not going to go. Here it's like, well, I don't know what that is, but how much are tickets? So we find that, and it becomes a big, and once you're there, and everybody's done this, you stand in the back and you chit-chat with your neighbors, and it becomes this big neighborhood block party. You don't see that in other communities, and that's what makes Dubuque so unique, and that's why we're getting these shows in all of our venues, is because people turn out and buy tickets and support it. They support live music, so that's what makes it fun.
Yeah, so people really take a liking to the city of Dubuque. I know HR does care packages, not only for the entertainer, but even takes care of some of the road crew guys, because they're the ones out talking up about, hey, we played Dubuque and we loved it. I mean, we still have some long-standing relationships with these groups because of the hospitality of Dubuque. Kevin Cronin, the lead singer of REO Speedwagon, one of his favorite restaurants is the Pepper Sprout. And Kim at the Pepper Sprout literally mails him or ships him her salad dressing every so often to California. That's how much he loves it. Yeah, Rodney Carrington, the TV star and comedian. Rodney ate at the Pepper Sprout a couple times, and he said that's his favorite restaurant on the road. We had the guys from Air Supply. We got Air Supply coming up in May, and can't remember which one of the two it was, but he asked, is that restaurant still up over the hill overlooking the river I can go to again? He was talking about Timmerman. So, so people actually, they really do remember their experience in Dubuque, which is nice.
This is Alice Cooper's favorite golf course right here.
Yeah, Alice Cooper's golfed here, yep. Yep, I know.
Every time he comes through, he plays.
Yep, the same as, Trace Atkins, he's a big golfer. He loves to golf in the General. So, and he brings it up, can I golf with the General? He already has, tea time at the General when he comes this summer. So, yeah, they definitely do remember Dubuque, so.
Well, that was great. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Vote yes for new building.
Yes.
For sure.
All right, thank you, Scott. So don't forget to nominate people for the open positions, and we'll discuss it again next week. So have a great week, everyone.
It was excellent. Nice job. I hope I asked you something. That was fun.
Yeah.
So,